Hello, my name is Wade Nomura, and this is Rotary Serving Our Community. Each year, Rotary International, throughout the whole organization, changes its leadership. Each president from each club serves a total of 1 year, and that's it. In that time, they try to accomplish as much as they can. And with me today, I have two of the outstanding presidents from our district. We have Betsy Chase from Ventura and Scott Nickel from Grover Beach. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Betsy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. First of all, it's really fun to be here. Thank you so much, and you've done so much for Rotary, so it's a real honor. I guess I was born into Rotary. My dad was a Rotarian in Santa Paula, which is a little town not too far from here. So I was always aware of the good things that the club did. And I was really just aware of it on a kind of a club member, I think, like most people. But my background, I think I'm probably the only person I know that would have a business card that reads Communication Consulting for the Arts and Agriculture. People usually go, huh? But I come from a long line of people who are in agriculture, and that's a big deal in our region. So, and then I've been involved in the nonprofit arts. I've run a symphony, a theater company, been involved with a museum, and through that I've gotten to know a lot of people. And Rotary really is an adjunct of that, isn't it? It's working in the community and getting to know a lot of people. So that's my story quickly.
Great, thank you. And Scott, how about you?
Well, thanks for having me again. I'm with the Grover Beach 5 Cities Rotary Club. I'm a charter member. I've been a member for about 16 years now. Born and raised in San Luis Obispo County, more so in Pismo Beach. My wife and I, we've just celebrated our 20-year anniversary, and she happens to be a Rotarian as well. And we both work in real estate. We work as a team, and it's a great life. Yeah.
Sounds very good. So, start with you then, Scott. How did you end up becoming a club president?
Well, this is actually my third year of being president of our club. So it's not a new rodeo for me, but it's just being a small club of 18 members. It comes around every now and then that you have to step up to the plate and be president again. So I was fortunate enough to have another year at it.
Wow, very good. So if you have that few people, literally the class of small clubs is about double your size. So you're competing with quite a few clubs that are literally twice as many people as you are.
Absolutely. We never let that slow us down.
3 years too. Now, how many of those three other ones were you best club?
None of my presidents. So this was my third time, so I thought I'd make it a good year for us.
That's a charm, definitely so.
Yes.
How about you, Betsy?
Let's see. I was going to be president about 3 years ago, but my husband was ill at the time. So I thought maybe I wasn't going to have to be president. But no, they remembered. So that's how I came to be president. And my experience is very, very different in that mine is a large club.
Right.
And so in some ways, I think it's easier certainly than the work that a small club, because we've got things that are in motion. There's a momentum. The board usually is set for 2 years. And this year we were fortunate enough to be named best overall club in the district, which I think really, I mean, as it should be with Rotary, it speaks to the club. I just got to be the person that was president this year.
Very true. Now, there's 74 clubs in our district, so you had some pretty stiff competition right there.
I love it.
Yeah, good for you. Outstanding. What would you say was one of the advantages you had as you became president, knowing that you had that support? Was there a team behind you? Was there some mentoring, some development that you had leadership-wise to help you out?
Well, I think I'll speak for myself. I don't care how long you've been in Rotary. Yes, it prepares you for leadership, but the specific leadership of Rotary presidency is just that. It's very specific. And I don't know what I would have done without the PETS program, the Rotary Rotary sponsored program that all of us go through, because it puts the pieces all together. But in our club, one of the things that we do is, it can be monthly, sometimes not that much, but we have a past president's lunch. And it's a marvelous opportunity to hear from past presidents what they've done and how they handled problems and so forth. So yes, it's very much so. I found specific training from Rotary, and then really wonderful teamwork and support from my own club.
Great. How about you, Scott?
Well, I was fortunate just to have a fantastic club to start off with. We had a really nice, motivated board, a lot of new members on the board, so they were trying to feel their way through Rotary as well. And that just added to the excitement of the club. And, you know, just overall the club standing behind you, wanting to do projects, kind of self-motivating. So it was nice to have.
Well, that was good. Did you expect it to be as good as it was, or were there challenges that you faced that you weren't anticipating as a president?
This year was actually really smooth for me. We kind of went into it with a list of 25 goals that I wanted to complete, and within 3 months, all of those goals had been met.
Wow.
So at that point, I said, let's roll up our sleeves, let's get busy, and let's finish off the year. And it ended up being a fantastic year, and I'm happy that the club took that best small club, and we deserved it. And they worked hard. So
outstanding.
Yeah.
And you, Betsy?
It was really interesting. The devil is in the details. As I say, the club there's a lot of momentum for projects, but you realize how some people are just, you just don't know how you would do your club without them. And that was the case with our secretary of 12 years, who just needed a break. And unfortunately took it midway through my year, and it's like, oh. But there's always a silver lining. It showed people that this person was doing a job that was way too big. Yeah. And so it was an opportunity to look at that position and break it into smaller pieces and bring more people in to do that. So it turned out to be kind of a silver lining sort of a thing. Another challenge that we had was one of our big fundraisers, our biggest fundraiser, is we do fireworks show for the city of Ventura. And there was a group that wanted to change the venue. And so that was a real challenge. And I think as it turned out, we did not change the venue. But what we learned, and we'll talk, I think, a bit later on, and that's good communication within your club.
Right.
And that's something that we're working on, because we are a large club. We're 110 plus now members. And you know, you've got your board who knows what's going on, and you kind of assume everybody does, and that's not the case. So we had things that on the face of it was like, oh gosh, what are we going to do? And it turned out to be really good learning experiences.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Well, I asked each of you to bring some pictures, so I'm going to start with you there, Scott.
Okay.
Let's go through your photo set, because I think a lot of this, the audience is going to want to see actually what goes on at your club at Grover Beach.
Absolutely.
So let's start with the first one here.
Sure.
Elementary school.
This was a project we did for local elementary schools. They all needed world maps, so we stepped up to the plate. We bought about 50 world maps, had them all laminated so they can use those for many, many years to come. So that was a good little project, and
That's great.
a good community project.
Mm-hmm.
The second photo here is one of our elementary track meets. We invite all the elementary kids to the local high school to participate in a full-on track meet. So we get anywhere from probably 350 to 450 kids.
Wow.
So it's a big deal. It's a big community event, and it's always a lot of fun.
So how do you man that? Is it because there's 18 of you said?
There's 18 of us, yes. Well, you know, we work hard, we work fast.
Evidently so. Very good.
Definitely. And then this third photo, this is a project you probably heard of, Amp Surf. Every year our club sponsors them with a barbecued lunch. Amp Surf is a program where people who have lost limbs are taught how to surf. So it kind of gives them an empowerment.
Oh, gotcha.
A lot of these folks are military veterans, so it's always fun and a pleasure to help them out.
That is great. And you do this as an annual event?
Every year.
Wow.
You bet.
Wow. Good for you. That's a great project.
Yes. And then this other photo is part of our club members. We do a annual bandstand every month. Actually, it's every week during the summer. So we man the beer and wine booth. So it's a great fundraiser for us, and a good way to expose ourselves to the community.
That is great.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, this photo is our Christmas party that we put on for the local Boys and Girls Club. So we all rally and bring Santa down and have goodies and, cakes and cookies for the kids as well as presents.
So you actually sponsor that one? Is that specific to your club then?
Yes, it is.
Wow,
absolutely.
Another huge project.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. This other one is just another marketing idea that we have for our club. We give out cards that say you've been noticed.
Okay.
Just trying to introduce Rotary to people, possible potential members. Just a nice casual way to invite them to our club. So that's been very successful to us.
I see on the card though, it says Santa Barbara Sunrise. So you guys borrowed that one?
That is not ours, no. So that is a different card, but that's a great project as well.
Sounds good. Well, Rotary always likes sharing. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's one thing.
You better
Successes you better use.
And then, of course, every month we do a monthly cleanup day on the streets of Grover Beach. So we always like to be involved in that and keep our community clean. And it's a good way to expose ourselves to people driving around. So,
Now, have you had any recruiting opportunities from that? Has that helped you out, or?
We haven't had any recruiting opportunities, but it's always nice when people drive by and honk at you and
That's
say
nice.
thank you. So that's really all we need.
That is very good.
It's kind of self-motivating.
Right.
And then, of course, this is one of our board meetings where we're hard at work trying to solve the world's problems.
I see that.
Yes.
All now non-alcoholic, I noticed also.
Yes,
business
absolutely.
gets done.
Just business, strictly.
Good.
So this is a picture of Mark Meininger. He is a soldier, brand new to the Air Force. So we implemented and adopt a serviceman program. So he's a young man that came from a difficult upbringing. His wife Robin, they're brand new newlyweds. So before he was shipped off to boot camp, we were able to get them together, give them a night's stay at Madonna Inn with a nice dinner, just kind of a send-off for them because they really did not have any type of honeymoon. So that was great for our club. And he actually recently just came back to visit our club, dressed in his Air Force finest, and he had some really nice badges, and he's turned out to be a fine young man.
That's great. Now, how did you identify him or find that?
Just one of our members. We put it out to our memberships to find somebody, and I believe she went through the church and found him. So yeah, it's a really nice program.
That is great, and that's partnering too with the community. So
absolutely,
outstanding program.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have our Pins for Polio. It's our bowl-a-thon. Strictly all the funds go to Polio Plus program. So it's a lot of fun, and it's always nice to get the community that really doesn't know anything about polio, and they get educated as well.
And that's a fundraiser then also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Funds go to Polio Plus, I would
All of
anticipate.
100%.
Great.
Yes.
Great. And how much do you raise from that one?
We raised about $2,500.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's very good.
yeah, and once you put those bowling shoes on, it's all fun from there on.
Right.
And then, of course, our police and firefighter, first responders appreciation lunch that we hold once a year. Just a nice way to say thank you for those who are putting their life on the line for us every day.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the location of this picture is actually where?
This is actually at the Grover Beach Firehouse. So, yeah.
And so you host the event right there and
Yes.
actually run it.
Exactly.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
And then these are just other random shots of some of our projects. Barbecuing at the Ramona Gardens Park, we do a Halloween carnival and trunk or treat for the kids. So free hot dogs and just a safe way to do some Halloween trick or treating.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. You have a picture here. You guys bundled up here, it looks like.
Yes, this is about 6:30 in the morning. Thanksgiving Day, we help out with the local turkey trot, which is I think it's a 5K run, so we get out there and help them organize it. So
I can't believe it's that cold up there.
it's a little chilly, but it's always fun.
It looks like fun.
Yes. And then, of course, the last photo here is us giving monies out to different organizations to our club. So.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. So how did your club take the notice that you guys were Best Small Club?
They were excited, extremely pumped. Like I said, we worked really hard year round. We had 3 goals. One was to motivate the club. One was to be busy, and the third one was to be the best small club. So collectively, we made that happen.
But that's outstanding. That is great. And of the 18, did you have any attrition? Did you bring anybody new in?
I think we were +1, but
Good.
one member. But it kind of ebbs and flows.
It
But
Yeah.
at the end of the year, we completed about 50 different projects. So.
Wow.
That's outstanding.
Yes.
One thing I have noticed is that the successful clubs like yours, having a good time, there's a minimum amount of attrition. People actually don't leave. They're having too good of a time to leave, so they make all excuses to stick around and work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so good for you.
Thank you.
Outstanding. Betsy, let's jump into your pictures now.
All right.
Okay. So the first one we have there is
Looks like a firework.
it looks like the fireworks.
It is. And the reason I think we started with that is because really the fireworks, which is our biggest fundraiser, we do it for the city of Ventura, and we have from 6,000 to 8,000 people attend, so it's a big deal. But from that, that's our major fundraiser from which all of our other community projects. And at the end of the year, we probably do cash gifts to about 30 different nonprofits. Wow. So it's really important. But we also have some what I would call a passive fundraiser. You've been to our club and had some of our wonderful turkey lunch, or turkey, I wish, chicken lunch.
Right.
But we have a placemat, and the placemat has business cards and so forth. So we raise about 6,000 just on the placemat. Wow. So it's, when you consider how hard it is to raise money, that's one that's kind of great. But there's, as I say, that from that really springs, all of the other activities.
Now, one of the challenges I see with the 4th of July is that in Rotary, you start on July 1. So as a president, how do you get rolled into that one?
Well, usually it just depends on how involved the new president is. But my predecessor or my successor and I were both there. So
okay. That's good.
but the work obviously is done by the committee.
By the committee.
And I think that brings up an important part. Mine, as I mentioned, is a big club. We're 110, and it is such a matter of committee work. There's always, the 4th of July committee starts working, 8 months before the event. And as a president, you're just checking in. But, we couldn't possibly do all of the things that our club does without the fact that, it's not just being a matter of being on a committee, but it's taking ownership. Mm-hmm. And that's really exciting.
Wow, great. Next picture you have is a picture showing the crowds, I would say.
Yes.
This is
the multitudes.
Is that from the 4th of July?
It is. Those are from the 4th of July, and we have vendors. We have a kids zone.
Oh, okay.
No alcohol, and which is goes to show you can have a good time without alcohol.
That is
so,
good.
Yeah.
And you said about 6,000 people.
Right.
Actually
Yeah.
attend?
6,000 to 8,000.
And what time does it open?
We start about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
The gates open, and then of course fireworks about 9. Right. So.
And about how much do you figure you make in profits?
Well, it depends, but we usually bring in from 30 to 50,000.
Nice.
So it's a big deal.
That is good, and it all goes back to the community.
It all goes back to the community, exactly.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the next picture, again, same crowds. I would.
Yep, more crowds. Yeah.
Okay. Is that the same venue? Or?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have another picture here showing coats.
Yes, that's really a project that's had amazing legs. The simple part of it, it's Coats for Kids. Oh. Started in 2011, and since that time, we have given away about 10,000 coats.
Wow.
And it's not, it started as collecting coats because we too have a Christmas party. We do 3 schools on the west side of Ventura, and it starts with picking them up with a bus and taking them. This year it was to Target, and they get a shopping spree. And the parents will let us know what particular things so that we're not getting stuff that the family doesn't need. And then we usually go up to the school district office in Ventura and have lunch, and Santa Claus comes, and the children get to choose a coat.
Oh, nice.
And we also have something as a part of that, it's called Furry Friends, and they get a stuffed animal. And these kids usually go home with more than one coat and more than one animal, because they're taking it to the brother or sister that they know needs it as well. But it's interesting because, if I may, jump to another Coats for Kids picture. It shows the cleaners that one of our Rotarians, Sunny Shaw, has for all these years cleaned all of these coats. And that was also the outgrowth of another project which takes clothes for people who want to get back into the workforce. And so Sunny also cleans all of those. So that's been one of our vocational projects as well, is to do that.
Well, that's great. And I do notice it shows a picture of a box there, so he has a collection area
yes,
at
we
each
have,
of his locations.
Right, not only there, but we do boxes at the nursery. We do them all over the county. And so it's a big deal. And,
do you have a guesstimate of how many coats come through there?
Well, as I say, he's done cumulatively almost 10,000.
Oh my gosh!
It is crazy. It's amazing, and talk about service above self. That is a very big example of it. Is what this individual does. And as I mentioned, the fact that it went beyond and also was also helping people get back in the workforce. So that's really cool.
Great.
Yeah.
You have another picture here. Doesn't look like it's too local here. So
no, that as a matter of fact is our interactors, our big kids.
Okay.
And this is a group basically Interact, and you're going to have to help me with the ages, but it usually goes up to...
Interact is high school, and then Rotaract, I think.
Okay, so then I've mixed them
young
up
professionals.
because there's both Interactors and Rotaract, but it's basically then it's a Rotaract group. And this is our Baja build out.
Oh, okay.
And they've gone down to the same area and worked on a school. So, but the international aspect is big for our club. We have some people that we're lucky because one of our Rotarians actually has a small foundation. And so he's very nimble about, for instance, when the earthquake happened in Nepal, he was able with another couple of our Rotarians to go to Nepal. And what they do is, it's not that it's a huge foundation, but that they know how to use the money. And that is, who better knows than the community that's been struck. True. And so they interview people within the community, what do you need, and then they buy as locally as they can. So that's been exciting. And then another international project that we have done is in Guatemala. And it's a health clinic. Okay. And again, there was a young doctor from the area that was already going down, so it was a marvelous partnership within the community. Oh, so yeah, that's really great.
My governor classmate, just to let you know, Jose Moreno, actually is now on the cabinet. He's the Minister of Health in Guatemala.
Oh, well, we may be working
Let
with
me know.
them.
Yeah, we'll pull that string anytime we need to.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Good. And then your next picture, dictionary looks like.
Yes, it is. This is a very happy young man. We've done the dictionary project for many years. And it's interesting because oftentimes people are saying, really, a paper? A book? Shouldn't they be getting iPads or whatever? Well, our school district isn't able to do that. So the dictionary project is still very viable. And each year we give out about 1,700 dictionaries, and they're not just dictionaries. I mean, they are magical books. And we do them in both Spanish and English. One of the things that the kids always enjoy is they turn to the back because it has the longest word in the dictionary. And don't ask me what it is because I can't remember. But this has been an ongoing project. But it's interesting how projects start and then expand. For instance, one of the things that through the dictionaries, we were able to start doing more with our sister clubs. There's 2 other clubs in our area, and so we started doing projects. We had a Christmas party, which is always good to start, get to know one another. And then one of the big deals in Ventura for the city is there is a botanical garden that's starting. Right. And so we are raising $250,000 to create Rotary Plaza. Wow. And so the 3 clubs got together and we did a cleanup on the trail. and have committed obviously a lot of money. But it's such a great thing because that particular day, here were all of us Rotarians, you know, chopping away weeds, and there was a 5K run that was going on, and then there was something else with animals, so we had dogs and kids and Rotarians, and a sign that says, you know, Rotary at work. And one of the things that that happened this year that was really fun, we actually had a theme, and that was the power of us. And so we're thrilled to bring that to the community.
Great.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So now that you're both done, and we're looking at this year now, it's a new Rotary year, how are you going to benefit your club? Have you thought about that? Scott, I'll start with you.
Well, of course, I'm on the board, so just being a part of it, I think, just continuing on with the projects, making sure that the club's, you know, still going in the right direction. But like I said, the club's pretty much self-motivating right now.
Sure.
So if there's a project, people are going to jump on board.
Good.
And they're going to be motivated.
How about you, Betsy?
Well, I would certainly agree. Though this morning when I put my pins on, the first one I put on was my past president's pin. So
well earned.
Yeah, it is. It's a big deal.
It is.
It's a big responsibility, and not only to your club, but you know, your community, your family is going. Excuse me, what? You're going yet again another Rotary project. But I would agree with Scott. It's you know, you suddenly step back, but you know, we've got some tribal memory, and it's important that we continue on. Our club, for instance, will be in 2019. We're 100 years old,
Yeah.
and so that's a big part of my interest is keeping that history alive. So,
100 years. I mean, you think about that. What Rotary's done. Both your clubs, the impact in the communities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And what you both have achieved doing these projects is, again, I would say something outstanding. It's almost supernatural how much you guys actually did to tie into those communities. Got time for one quick question. I want to make that short and sweet for each of you. What do you do with the incoming president? The one that's, do you help them out? Do you motivate them? Do you offer them any advice, or do you just kind of watch them do their thing?
well, my incoming president, and she and I are very different. I'm kind of a little da-da-da-da-da-da, and she's like, we will get things done, and she does get things done. So I'm a sounding board, and but I mean, she is so prepared, thanks again to the kind of training that Rotary gives us. She hit the ground running. And so I can just kind of like, woohoo, you know, and enjoy it.
How about you, Scott, real quick?
Well, we're always there to support her. We had her over for dinner prior to her taking over as club president and kind of discuss her goals and just gave her the support and let her know that we're always there. And we always kind of keep tabs on her.
Good.
But like Betsy said, she's well informed and she's ready to take on the new year.
Well, thank you both of you for joining me today, and thank you for the outstanding work you did as presidents.
Wade,
so
thank
much.
you.
With that, thank you very much. We hope to see you next time.